Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Boson Protocol. It's important that if you like this kind of content, you should definitely like and subscribe to this channel so that way you can be up to date with all the news as it's coming out, and that way you can be informed before you make any investment decisions. It's very important that you remember this is not financial advice, it's strictly an opinion. So with that in mind, you should be able to enjoy the subject of this video. So, Boson, like I mentioned, this is something that I mentioned on the channel before, and it's gotten a lot of love. I personally like the project a lot, and with this new wave of Metaverse tokens coming out, I could definitely see a lot of hype coming around this very soon. Now, as you can see here, we're looking on like a 7-day chart. On the weekly, it's looking like we had a quadruple bottom. So that is a large accumulation, and you see we're constantly bouncing on the $2.50 range roughly. So as you can see, like, we're not going below that. Whales have tried pushing it below, and it's not going below. You know, it's a good sign that the coin is not going much more lower than what it is right now. As you can see here, we're clearly breaking all-time highs for the month. We've basically retested that. And from a yearly perspective, you can see we still have a lot of room before we hit all-time high. So just from the current price to the all-time high, it's roughly about 2x just from there. But I personally see Boson going past the $10 or $15 range personally. Now, why do I say that? I'm going to get into that today because there's been quite a lot of news for Boson, and I've had people in my comment section asking for updates because there's been a lot of news. So that's what I'm here to give you, right? Boom. All right, so Boson officially launches its mainnet on Ethereum. Now, that's fucking awesome. This is more or less what a successful mainnet launch looks like, as you can see right here. And, you know, I keep track of a lot of this stuff via CoinMarketCal. So anyone who's watching this video, definitely check out this website because it's awesome. But as you can see here, I'm just going to say here, they've been talking about their mainnet launch. It's officially happening. They're going to be doing a lot of their stuff within basically the Decentraland platform, where they're going to be bridging the gap between virtual products to physical ones. So redeeming virtual NFTs for real world items and making it so that they could break up monopolies on products. So allowing for a decentralized environment to allow people to sell without too many monopolies holding all the power like Amazon. Now that's it's definitely a pretty great step in the right direction, considering that the way things are going, the current trend in crypto is Metaverse. Now, I personally think that Boson is going to be the connection between real world items and the Metaverse. And that would be a very interesting thing to think that, like, you're in the Metaverse, you're going to someone's shop, their virtual shop, and you're like, hey, I want that. And then they just mail it to you. Redeemable for the NFT. Definitely a very interesting concept and project that they're going to be stepping into. Now, as you can see here, on the 18th of November too, they're talking about launching their official portal launch, right? And more or less they mentioned this in their Telegram, that the portal launch is still scheduled for this month. They're saying the 18th. That's the set date, and it was as of today, 5/22. So anyone who's been active in the Boson Telegram, you're going to see they have a good team. They're on top of their stuff. And that portal launch will be the beginning of basically applying their network to a metaverse. Now, the other thing they wanted to mention was on the 14th, they were talking about a partnership announcement, right? And they mentioned it here. It's going to go exponential, and they've been spending the last 4 months raising, recruiting, designing, and building. The next 4 weeks, they will launch the Boson portal and release the mainnet and announce the partnerships with major global brands and release our roadmap to blitz scale. So that means that the time to get on the ship for Boson is probably now or never, because it's coming fast. By the end of the month, it's going to be taking off. Now, you see, they've got quite a lot of things going for them. And this is more or less what they're predicting it's going to look like on their graph. But that's a joke, you know what I mean? Dog's awesome. Both those things are awesome. This right here was another thing that I noticed. It came out last month in October. Boson Protocol claims a piece of fashion and NFT history with a record-breaking $1 million Dolce & Gabbana suit purchase. Potential partnership, maybe? Now, that's a pretty big thing right there. It's a big suit. So they bought almost $1 million piece of land in Decentraland, which is probably valued at 5 to 10 times the current value right now, because Mana and Decentraland property went up like crazy, and I don't even want to get into that, but I should. And you'll probably see it in my next video, top 3 Metaverse coins coming up. It's coming, guys. Yeah. So they made the NFT history by acquiring the glass suit, a digiphysical item designed personally by renowned fashion designers, so on and so forth. And they're talking about how, you know, they've basically bought this suit. Is that possibly one of their partnerships? Likely. And that even brings me back to the main point before, that Luxo. I'm throwing Luxo into this Boson video just to say something, because Luxo has already locked down Chanel, Tommy Hilfiger, and pretty much every major fashion brand. So don't be surprised if you see a collaboration with Luxo and their digital platform with fashion and Boson and all these companies. Because clearly they're both Ethereum based, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up doing something together. So I'm just calling that out there in this video right now live, so that way I could be one of the first to say it. If not the first. If I'm not the first. But that's just, you know, topic of discussion possibly in the future if it happens. But I figured I'd throw you guys at least the idea that just popped in my head right there. Now, you go here onto their website, and there's one more thing that I wanted to mention, because I've covered Boson. You guys should definitely go on other videos if you want to get a more in-depth idea of how it works. So we've covered this token quite a few times, so I won't go into the exact details beyond what I had mentioned before about redemption for physical items through NFTs. But this is what I wanted to say. Metaverse Commerce. Shop in the metaverse and receive physical items on your doorstep or collect in store. They are going to be the mall of the metaverse. They're going to be what people use to sell items in the metaverse and basically create that old school feel that we used to get when we walked in a mall. But walk into a mall now and it's dead. The reality is no one wants to spend time walking in a mall with rents that are too high, and, you know, just like waste of products, and malls are dead. A lot of them are dead. Unless the mall has an attraction that makes people want to go, they're dead. So a metaverse kind of makes sense for a mall. And if they actually tackle the metaverse commerce properly, don't think that other platforms won't adopt their protocol, because ultimately all Boson is, beyond just, let's say, a blockchain or whatnot, is it's a protocol for escrows, meaning that you would basically use an escrow with a smart contract to release the goods after payment, and after payment is considered good payment or item is considered non-damage. So when both sides agree, that's when the escrow is released. So it kind of brings back trust for a lot of things that wouldn't get trust, and I could see how that becomes valuable. And if the metaverse is going to be valued so heavily in the future, as we've spoken about in our previous video about Luxo and the metaverse, then you'll definitely understand that this could be huge in the coming months. And if the metaverse blows up, this is going to be something that's likely to be attached to it. And I could definitely see this being webbed into other metaverse and VR tokens and worlds, just simply because they're already part of a Decentraland. They're already getting potential partnerships, and I'm thinking Dolce and Gabbana, like they mentioned here in the other one, right? So it's only a matter of time before more things like this start popping up on their network. And the thing about projects like these that stay under wrap for a long time is that when they start moving, they move quickly, and a lot of people miss the boat very quickly. So if you're watching this video, keep an eye on it, because it might actually make you money. But it's not financial advice. You know, just like everything else that's been said on this channel since the beginning. But you've all made money, even if it wasn't advice. So I guess we'll more or less wrap up this video here. If you like this kind of content, once again, and you've stayed to the end, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out other videos on Boson if you want to have a more in-depth, I guess, like, perception of it. And like I said, keep your eyes peeled for the Discord and the Patreon, because they're coming soon. And I know I've been saying it throughout my videos, but like I mentioned, I want to make sure that my team is ready to make it happen, so that way you, the viewers, could have a really good experience on it. And I'm letting you know right now, too, that the Patreon is going to be loaded with tutorials. It's going to be loaded with in-depth guides and behind-the-scenes things that happen at Anti-Hedge, things that you wouldn't normally get to see beyond just these YouTube videos. So you'd be able to actually get a good perception of what we're about. Take care.